Hi, this is Attorney Mike Grevlin coming to you from Chicago as usual, and today we're going to take a look at Sovereign Citizens in Court number 19. It's good stuff. Let's do it. Well, this is a fun little clip involving a sovereign citizen trying to represent himself, and it also is the second appearance of Judge Blackman. She was in Funny Court Hearings number 1. I'll put a link in the description below.
Thank you. All right, we did Mr. Davis. Let's go to Mr. Young on page 18, 19, and 20.
Judge, he should be approaching. I spoke to him earlier this morning. He does not want the public defenders to represent him. He's going to be representing himself pro se.
We all know this train wreck isn't going to work, but let's watch it unfold.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, or the dogs get it.
We went through this before with Mr. Young, I believe. Mr. Romero, he was up previously and he couldn't get through the Ferretta inquiry that I tried to go through. He's going to have to file a motion in order to have his division judge deem him fit to represent himself, Mr. Romero. So this morning I'm asking you to step in and represent him. I remember what we went through last time. We were up on the other allegations, Mr. Romero. So I'm asking you to step in.
Section 40.
All right, I'm keeping him muted, guys. Keep him muted because he's disruptive and he disrupted the court before and he had numerous outbursts. So, Mr. Romero, please represent him for the purpose of today's hearings on page 18 through 19, 20.
Judge, I will follow the court's order. If I could have 1 moment to attempt to speak to him again then.
All right, not a problem. Thank you.
Well, so far this hearing is going just fine with the defendant's microphone muted and the public defender speaking on his behalf. But wait, there's more.
All right, Ms. Lindsay, just let me know if you're back and we can get started. Thank you.
Yes, Judge, I'm back. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, Mr. Romero, did you have an opportunity to speak to Mr. Young?
I did, Judge, and Judge, in speaking with Mr. Young, he once again wanted me to reiterate the point that he does not want me to represent him. He wants to represent himself, and I did tell him I would go ahead and that would be the first thing I would address on the record.
All right, I understand. All right, Mr. Young, let me address him. All right, Mr. Young, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Mr. Young, it's my understanding that you wish to represent yourself, correct?
What's your name? I don't know your name. Oh, Mrs. Blackman. I would like for you to address me as Noel, if you don't mind.
And we're off with the horrible, horrible start. I want you to address me as something other than my name, and I'm not going to address you properly.
It's Judge Blackman, sir.
Judge Tabitha Blackman, I'd like for you to address me as Noel, and I also like to be grandfathered in with the grandfather clause of 1867 that name that you just mentioned with the Peonage Act, and then also I'm accepting, since I'm representing myself, I'm accepting all charges.
Wow, what a pile of gibberish. This is going nowhere fast, but wait, it gets even better.
I'm also reserving all my rights and remedies without subject matter jurisdiction leaving me. All right? So with that being said, I also would like to appoint you, Judge Tabitha Blackman, as my fiduciary trustee.
This is quickly becoming my favorite crazy subset routine. He does a nice job here, but it's not as good as this guy.
I'm sorry?
I declined a request for me to be your trustee. Noel Young, they are charged
I'm not the trustee for the case.
burglary, unoccupied structure, unarmed. I wish you the best of everything. Eric Sholaman, Eric Sholaman, Eric Sholaman. Thank you.
To close, settle, and release all proceeds to me immediately under, and I would like to incite Title Title 50, Stat 4035, B2 for full acquittance and discharge without recourse. And today's date, I think, is April the 9th, 2021.
I mean, just wow. I think he's got 27 charges against him, and he wants to appoint the judge as his trustee, and I guess discharge all the charges and maybe get some money too. I don't know. It's really out there.
All right, sir, I haven't made a determination yet whether you can represent yourself. As I tried to do last time you were up, I needed to go through what's called a Ferretta inquiry. Do you remember when I tried to go through the questions? I need you to answer these questions as I asked them in order for me to make a determination as to whether you can represent yourself, okay?
I'm really impressed with this Judge Tabitha Blackman. She's doing a very good job here. She's really maintained her calm through all this. She knows exactly what's going on here. She knows that this guy's not capable of representing himself, but she's going to go through on the record and do it the proper way. And she really has good judicial demeanor.
I never understood what you was talking about the last time because you weren't a part of the case. And I always want to tell you that if you are asked you, are you licensed to practice nursing, to give those kind of, telling me instructions to go get screened for medical. Do you have a medical license?
Sir, please answer the questions as I ask them to you. If you fail to respond appropriately, I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you and not allow you to represent yourself, okay? Okay, the first question is, have you ever studied law?
Yes.
These are yes or no questions, okay? Have you ever represented yourself in a criminal action?
No.
Do you understand the charges against you? There are 27 listed today. Do you understand each and every charge against you, sir?
I don't understand each and every one of them. No.
I really like this. This is beautiful. The sovereign citizens love to say they don't understand, and it's like they think it's a cute wordplay. But in this circumstance, it has a very specific legal meaning. She's asking him questions, and if you answer them the wrong way, then you can't represent yourself. And saying you don't understand the charges against you is definitely answering it the wrong way if you want to represent yourself.
Okay. Are you aware of the maximum penalty for each charge?
No. I'm not aware of the maximum penalties for each charge.
Okay, are you familiar with the exact legal elements for each charge?
No, I do not understand the elements of the charges, ma'am.
Okay, do you realize that if you're found guilty of more than one of these crimes, this may result in an order that orders you to be sentenced consecutively? That means one after another.
Well, I can say to you...
It's a yes or no question, sir.
No, Your Honor, because I'm not the entity and I wish not to participate in religious ceremony or even to do.
All right, so based on his answers, I do not believe that he meets the threshold. I haven't even gotten through all of the questions to represent himself. He doesn't understand the severity of the charges. He doesn't understand what the charges are, the severity of the maximum penalties. He's not familiar with the legal elements. At this time, the court does not find that he meets the requirements under Ferretta v. California, 422 U.S. 806.
She did a really nice job there. She just made a great record. He obviously cannot represent himself. His answers made that very much so clear. I'm not familiar with this particular set of questions because I don't do this, but it looks like it's a standard set of questions to determine whether or not you can represent yourself, and he clearly can't.
From 1975 to represent himself. Mr. Romero, so that means that I am provisionally appointing your office to represent him, sir. I maintain the finding that have been signed by the original judge that signed the warrant on counts 1 through 27. Are you waiving reading of counts 1 through 27, or do you want me to go through them one at a time because I can?
I'll waive.
All right, so with regards 1 through 27, there's already been an order put into place by the judge that signed the warrant with regards to requirements for each of the counts. Mr. Garcia, is the state just requesting that I leave those requirements in place, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Romero, do you have any legal objection to me leaving the requirements set by Judge Robolo in place?
Well, Judge, legal requirements is obviously he's having his magistrate hearing. Those are just bonds that were set in place by the judge who signed the warrant. Obviously, you could revisit those. So at this time, pursuant to my conversations with Mr. Young, there's no way, from what he advised me, that anyone's going to be able to post his monetary bond. My understanding is, as the court pointed out, I believe he was here before the court recently. He was arrested. He was given a release conditions. From what he advised me, at this time, he is residing with his father. And from what he advised me, he wants to participate in his defense. From what he advised me, if he's going to be incarcerated with these types of bonds, he's not going to be able to participate in his defense because he's going to be locked up. So, Judge, he is asking me for the court to consider reducing the bond for a total bond of $20,000. And also, my understanding in speaking with this gentleman, I believe he has several medical issues. So I am going to be asking for a medical screening order on his behalf, Judge.
Okay, I will sign that medical screening order. I find that Judge Rabolo's total bond amount of $240,000 to be more than reasonable.
I really like this video for just this reason. It shows the difference between somebody representing themselves, especially somebody who's got, crazy sovereign citizen ideas in their brain, versus an actual professional. This is a public defender, and he handled that with grace and style. Waives the reading. We don't need to read 27 charges. They have them in writing. They know what they are. It's not helping his client to spend a half hour reading the charges out in court. And then he makes a reasonable request to try to reduce the bond. It sort of doesn't get anywhere, but he doesn't have a good argument, but he makes the best argument available. It's clear to me that he's a good, competent defense attorney. And he also does get the judge to order a medical evaluation for him, which is required. None of these things would have been done, as you could tell from the little bit when he was representing himself.
When the allegations are that he stole more than $1,232,360, and all of Judge Rabolo's other orders shall remain, including but not limited to the Nevia requirement, full collateralization. All properties used for collateral should not be further encumbered or liquidated during the pending of the proceedings. The state can object to any Nevia provided. Paragraph 6 remains. Paragraph 7 remains with regards to the surety that shall be provided within 10 days. Is to be monitored by pretrial release level 1, lockdown, no alcohol, no drugs, random testing, no driving. He shall not possess any firearms. He shall surrender his passport and may not reapply. He shall also have no contact with any of the alleged victims, direct or indirect. Is there anything else from Mr. Romero or Mr. Garcia on his case?
No, Judge.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Be in touch with your attorney. You'll have to file a motion to represent yourself with your division judge so that the division judge can also go through the Ferretta inquiry. Good luck to you, sir. Next is Mr. Wilson on page 21.
Well, there you have it. I thought that was a really interesting hearing. That was sent to me by Secret Squirrel. Thank you, Secret Squirrel. I really liked that clip, and that judge, I've now subscribed to that channel as well, like I have to Judge Middleton's channel. This is now her second appearance, and if she keeps this up, she might get her own playlist as well. Here at Law Talk, we do a lot of videos answering common legal questions. We also do reviews of law in the movies and then on TV. We also share some of our more interesting cases. We're always putting out new videos. So if you like that, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell.